Good morning, everyone. My name is Lytle. I'll be hosting Mortgage Coaches Training Thursday. And as we start our Thursday calls, we want to ask a few poll questions. So this way it helps us design not only today's call, how we should educate you, but as well as future Thursday training. So Marcy, if you can help me out, let's go ahead and launch our first poll. And this is going to be covering last Tuesday's call. Were you on that Tuesday coaching call? And if you could go ahead and prompt that. On the call, they were talking about millennials and how to reach out to the millennial generation. Today, we're going to talk a little bit about that, and it was very much that generation wants to be educated. So I'll also be able, for those who haven't seen that call, I'll be able to show you where our archive is, so if you want to be able to listen to that or any past calls, you'll be able to do so. So, okay, Marcy, let's go ahead and close out that call or poll. So our next poll that we're going to prompt is if you downloaded the mobile app. And this is including Rate Watch as well as the Mortgage Coach app, which is a viewer. So if you could prompt that, we would like to have 75% of our polls answered. So we're at 50% voted. So if you could go ahead and answer that, that would be great. So far we have 67% of you that download the app. That's great. Toward the end of the call, we're going to go ahead then and show you how to download it. It's quite simple. You just go to the Play Store. So we'll show you that toward the end of the call. Okay, Marcy, if you could close that out, and then we could go ahead and launch the next poll. And just out of curiosity, do you provide MI options to your clients? If you look at the screen, you can see my report right now. It's monthly MI, lender paid MI, as well as single premium. Do you offer that as a product to your clients? Okay, cool. We got 78% saying yes and 22% saying no. So this is good. We'll be able to show you how you can work with this one, and we'll be doing a lot of different items with this style report today. So, okay, Marcy, let's go ahead and close that poll out and launch the next one. This is what I really want everyone to answer. So with this, I want to know what you want to see on our QA call, this Thursday training call. We have Edge Live. Are you familiar? What areas you want to learn more, that you struggle with, that we can help you and be able to educate you on those particular items. So, okay, that's good. So far we only have 53% of the vote. If you don't see the topic that is listed on the screen, we do have an other area, but also put in the question area. I can also address any topic when we're going through Edge today. So, okay, we have about 50% of you like a little more information on the Edge Live, which is great. We're going to cover that as well as video. Reinvestment, if we have time, I'll show you with this MI how you can go ahead and reinvest and make all the payments even, so you're matching apples to apples. And we have 43% on the open house flyer. So it's good. What we'll probably do is, if we get to it, we'll cover the open house flyer, but if we don't, next week we'll cover that open house flyer as well as how to present it to your client. So that's great, Marcy. If you could close out that poll. And that is it for our polling. So let me go ahead and pull. Hi, everyone. My name is Lytle. If you've been on this Thursday training before, you'll notice that I tend to pull up the video because it's very important to put a video on your reports. And the reason for it, and this is a poll question I should have asked, how many, go ahead and use the hand raising and GoToMeeting, how many of you do not see your client face-to-face? That it's more taking the app, doing everything by email and phone. So there's quite a bit of you. The way technology is changing in our industry, more and more people are going this way because it's so easy to use the phone as well as email. But that is what's great with the Edge report, because you'd be able to introduce yourself with the video, and it's so important. You know, your client is trusting you with a big financial decision, and it's good to be able to see the person, be able to look in their eyes, and find more information out. So we're going to cover the video aspect today a little bit more so. And then I also want to mention Oh, that's great. I have a person who sees clients face-to-face most of the time. Not very many people have that. They have a combination thereof, or it is usually not face-to-face. So that's great. The other question or option I wanted to say, if you were using the video for the last week or so, Adobe did make an update. With that update, it ended up making the video fast forward, sort of like you're with Alvin and Chipmunks. So if that was the case, we did make the fix last night internally, so it will bypass that. So now the videos, if you record today, your videos will work. We are converting all the videos that were on any Edge report within the last week or last year. And if you have a particular marketing video that you have out on a website or that you use, just send it to your clients, and it has a video you really want to be able to use right away, email us at support@mortgagecoach.com with the link to the report. We'll run the conversion and get that report back up and running for you. So I want to mention that. So now what we're going to do, I'm going to close out this video, and we're going to dive into Edge. So let me turn this off. Okay. Okay, Horatio, that's, yeah, he just became a member, and that's great. Just to explain it to you and everyone else, our Thursdays trainings, we really try to get into the nuts and bolts of Edge. We show you different loan scenarios, so if there's a particular scenario you want to see, again, put it in the question area. We'll be able to develop our trainings, future trainings based around that particular scenario. And we also have a couple different types of training. So let me start there and show everyone, so that way if you feel that this is a little more advanced for you, don't worry. We have many trainings, and really we can answer the simplest to the most advanced questions on here. So you're in the right place because you'll be able to see all the different kinds of things that Edge can do for you. So what I would like to do first is everyone click on that help button. And what I'm also doing is placing in the chat box the link to our knowledge base. So if you're not in Edge, first off, I recommend that you log into Edge so you can follow along. If not, click on the link that I have in the chat box, and it will provide you to our knowledge base. In our knowledge base, we have many video tutorials that you'll be able to access to be able to create reports and learn different aspects of our system. Not only that, we have a search engine. So say you're working the weekends or after hours and you had a question on MI, and I had a good case last week. A person was doing a refinance and the MI wasn't displaying on the loan. So if she had done a search, oh, give it away, it was female. You could look in here and you could say why my MI is not included in the pity. This happens to be a frequently asked question versus a video tutorial. And basically the reason for that, it was the LTV on the current mortgage was using the current sales price. The LTV was way below 78%. And at that point, MI cut off. So we were able to explain to them why and how to be able to fix that in the system. We also have video tutorials like for Edge Live, all the topics that we did discuss today. And now if you look at the very top of the screen, we have two items I want to point out. First, we're going to touch base with the month's event calendar, and then we'll go to our coaching call archive. If you access this month's calendar, it will be able to provide you all the different types of events we have during that month. We have our different coaching calls that we have listed that we've had during the month of April. You'll see that this past Tuesdays, it was with Ann Lohr and about connecting and selling to millennials. If you go further down, you're on the Thursday call, congratulations. But if you're new to Edge and really want to understand the very basics, join us on Friday at 9 a.m. and that's all we do is cover the essentials of creating a report. We go very slowly through that. Then lastly, to continue your education, we have Mortgage Coach University. We have a 101 and a 102 types of classes. If you click the link at the very base of the screen, it will take you to the list of all the topics that we cover. So even if you can't make it a certain particular day, there might be a training that you do want to make. So you have all that information. We hold these the first 3 weeks of every month, and just sign up and you'll be able to attend any of those typical trainings. So with that, hope that will help you there and be able to move, get stronger with using Edge. So next what I have up is a report for mortgage insurance. So a lot of you do a comparison. So I'm showing monthly MI, lender paid MI, and single premium. And before we move on, what I'm going to do is take this report and place it into the chat area. So if you have dual monitors, you'd be able to go ahead and click on this link and follow along with me as if you were a borrower and this was Edge Live. Because every time I touch this report, looking at any items, it will reflect on your screen as well. I also want to point out in the lower left-hand corner, it shows that I have 4 viewers. As people click on the link to my report, this number will increase. This helps you know if the borrower is viewing your report with you. So it's a great way when you're using Edge Live and you're not face-to-face, this is a great way to be able to know if they're with you. And for Horacio, if you're doing face-to-face, it's great because this is a way you'd be able to, if you have an iPad, keep one at your desk and have the report automatically on the iPad. And while you're behind your desk, they can follow along with something in their hand and really be able to look at it and own it, opposed to having to look across or look at papers. You would then be able to use Edge Live and drive the report just as if you were not face-to-face. So this could be used both ways. So, so as you're looking at it, think about those options as well. If you have that link, you could go ahead and open it up on your mobile device as well. So now there's a couple items here I want to point out to you. We have a Start Now button, and we also have what's called a widget. So this widget that I'm showing you, you'd be able to create one within Edge, and I'll show you how shortly. And if you have a web page, what this will do is they can fill this information out, and it will take that data and bring it into your Edge account, the first name and last name and the email address of that potential client. You can also be able to use this on your mobile device on a phone to keep handy, to be able to collect that data from a person you might meet to be able to provide them an Edge report. So we're going to cover this, and then if I go back to my Edge report, the other one I want to cover is our Start Now button. So we're going to start with this and then work to the widget. So if I click on Start Now, it's taking me to our requested demo page. You can see that here. What you would want to do is bring it to your application page or driving it to your web page. And the way you would do it is, first, let's log into Edge. So it's edge.mortgagecoach.com. Place in your email address and password, and you log in and you view the home screen. So with the home screen, you always have the upper area for your client-facing reports, total cost analysis, as well as the rent versus own. And the lower area is your partner-facing reports, the open house flyer, and the seller buy-down. So for those of you who want to know more about that partner section, what I'll do is focus next week on the open house flyer as well as the seller buy-down, and show you how you can use one report in both ways. So seller buy down is great if you have a house on the market for quite some time. Instead of lowering the price, you could show a buy down in interest rates. I know the interest rates are pretty low right now, but as they start increasing, that is a very helpful tool to have. So now if you go to the top, you'll see all our different items you can go into. Starting a new client-facing report or starting a new partner-facing report. But what I would like you to do is click on your settings. So when you click on your settings, you'll notice there's a couple areas in here that I have haven't really addressed for a while. One is this Start Now address field. This is where you want to place the email address or the web page of your application or your web page directly. You can see I have my demo page for Mortgage Coach. So if I go here, this is exactly the link that I went ahead and copied and placed in my Edge account down here. So that's the easy way. It's very simple. As soon as you add that and press Save, your reports will have that Start Now button. So that's one item you'll be able to add to your reports. The other, how do you create the widget? And you'll notice at the very bottom of your contact information, there is a button for Create an Edge Widget. So when I open that up, it's going to bring you to a new page. And what this is doing is allowing you to decide what you want to be able to fill in on that particular widget. In the upper left-hand corner, if you want to receive an email when data entry has been received, you can have that option, or a text. And then if you want it sent to an alternate number, you would be able to do so as well. So if maybe you have a loan assistant or someone else who is working with you with the edge reports, you can have an alternate number. Also, let's just go back to the widget, again, just to be able to show you different items. Close some of these out so I'll know where I'm going. You'll be able to have the logo, your contact information, as well as your image. So going back to creating that widget, you could show the photo or not, show the logo, or the address. So you have the option what you want to show in that particular area. You have a header text that I just have, get a personal edge report. And again, going back to the widget, you'll see right at the top, that's where that label appears. So if you don't want get a personal edge report, you can modify it, and that's what you would do in this area here. You have additional text. If you want to put in additional information, you can place it on that. And whatever your confirmation message, this will go back to them after they press submit. So how to be able to get this information and be able to use it. So if you have a web page that you want to include this on, all you would need to do is copy this information, this scripting, and place it on into your web page. So if you work on it directly, or maybe you need to provide this to your IT. So that's how to update your web page. And if you want to email a link to someone, this is what you would want to go ahead and email. And this is what I went ahead and, if you paste it into a web browser, you could see that we have the widget developed. So that's how easy it is to add both a widget and that Start Now button to your report. So those are two items. Okay, George, let me go ahead and repeat it one more time, and that's perfect. Anyone else who has questions just like this, that's what we use the question area. So to start this, George, all you need to do is when you're in Edge, click on Settings. This will bring you to the Contact Info page, and then the widget is at the very bottom center. The Start Now address is this field right here. Always when you modify anything in the screen, press the Save button in the lower right-hand corner to save that data. So now for the widget, you just click on that widget button, and it opens up the page where you would want to edit. And this is where you have the options to what type of notification you want to receive, as well as the header, additional text, and your confirmation. So at the end, you would have this where you could copy it, place it on your web page, as well as emailing a link. And I'm also recording this call, so you'll be able to have that to also reference too. And we also have a quick kit if you go to our knowledge base that discusses this too. So I hope that answered your question, and then you'll be able to develop a widget such as this. Okay. So a reminder, if you're new to Edge, not only you want to come into your settings, since we're here, let's talk about it a little bit. Confirm your contact information is correct. And those fields that are grayed out, if you need those modified, just email us at support or contact your administrator, and they would be able to assist you here. Always confirm your MLS number, that you're putting the identifier in front of that number, because what is displayed here displays on your report. Lastly, confirm your address. So once you have that confirmed, you can always press Save. This API key, we have quite a few different APIs, different interfaces bringing data over. If you work for, have MPC, that is one that will carry data over to Edge. We have a lot more that are included for an enterprise account, like with Optimal Blue, and quite a few more that we're bringing over. So just want to identify that, and if you want more information on APIs, just contact us at support. Images, we get a lot of reports and people forget place their image on the report. And this is where you do it, just settings and images. You have your logo and your image. And it's great because if you look at the report, not only do they have your contact, they have your image. This image also will be placed on your widget. Left-hand side is where your logo and your branch address display. So all that you can modify within Edge in your settings area in those two particular tabs. Touch base a little bit on report templates. And report templates, this is the disclosure language. So if you look at the very base here, disclosure text, let me go to my report to show you what where that displays. This is the item. Let me go ahead and refresh my screen. You'll see the disclosure. Anytime that you enter a report, the borrower will have to press I understand before they enter. So that disclaimer language, a lot of times your compliance might say, hey, we need to modify this to use the same language as our company. For those of you who are on enterprise accounts, your company has already placed that text in there for you. And when we go back to Edge, you'll see that how mine's grayed out, that's how yours will be. In the lower left-hand corner, your client can always review that disclosure language again. And it's also on the mobile device when they first enter, and then they also have access as well to always use that disclosure button. So you'll see my area is grayed out. That's because I'm on an enterprise account and I'm using their data. So if this is opened up, this is where you modify it. We also have extended disclaimer language. So if for some reason you don't have enough space, click on that button. You can add the additional information. And I want to point out that each report style has to be modified because a lot of times you might have something different on an open house flyer, and you can see I'm on Prime Lending's account versus a total cost analysis. So again, compliance can help you out on this. You can always send them a link and they'll be able to provide you that information. So now let's go to Edge Live. So we're going to go ahead and cover that a little bit. And while we're covering Edge Live, we'll also cover the Reinvestment Strategy screen. So what we're going to do is, let me close out a few of these web pages here. Actually, I want to keep that one open. Leaving my page and clear that out. Perfect. Okay, so I have a file already prepped. So let's just review it so you can understand how to be able to enter those MI options. And I have a question from Jackie. Do you need to do anything about fee templates? Okay, you know what? I didn't mention that, so let's go ahead and talk about that for a moment. If you go into settings, we have fee templates as well as product templates that you can develop. If you're on an enterprise account, a lot of times they'll have the product templates and fee templates built for you, but you won't see them here. You'll see them when you're in the file and it's driven by a corporate level. These two tabs are individual levels where you would be able to develop your own fee template and own product templates. And even if you're on an enterprise account, it's helpful because sometimes they might have something slightly different compared to your branch. You can always save the template they provided you and be able to modify it. So that way you're not going in and modifying fee templates all the time. So that's what this is. We do have a video how to develop fee templates, and if you need assistance, always contact us and we'll be able to help you. Okay, MI comparison, let's go and dive into this report. And let me go to the very first screen. So with that, I made this a marketing piece. So if I went ahead and clicked on marketing versus individual, this allows it just to be able to remove some fields and just make it a report headline. So there's not much different between those two radio buttons, just minimizing those fields. So if this is an option that you do provide your clients, you might want to put a generic report together with a video that you would always be able to provide them and show them what type of service you provide. So with that, I'm not putting in a phone number, but I am putting a friendly name field. So what I'm going to do is mark this as educational report of MI. And this is what I'm going to provide my clients when they, to start help them understanding loans. the different styles of loan options. So moving on, you can see that I have it marked as a purchase, and you'll see I'll have the minimal amount of fields. Okay, let me go out 1 second. I have a question. How did I get into my report? So let me go home. I'm going home. And on the home page, you'll be able to see all your reports here. If you do not see them, you also have a sidebar. Also, it's a view all. If you click on view all, you'll be able to do a search for your existing report, or narrow it down, or click on search and you go into all your reports and be able to do a search that way. Because I've already created a page, all you have to do, or a report, all you have to do is click on that report and it will open up for you. And that's what I had done. I already have this created, and I'm going through and just explaining the fields. So as I'm in my goal screen here, I have it marked purchase a new home. I put in my purchase price, $350. The other fields are refi, so I'm just moving on with my screens. Marketing report, I'm not putting in any kind of information about my affordability. If you want to show tax benefit, you can place that bracket in there. When we use Edge Live, I'll go ahead and talk about that. So, but right now, let's just compare apples to apples with MI. Again, affordability, I'm skipping that screen too. Marketing piece, don't need it. Now we're in our product. So what I did is label my product monthly MI. Your characters for a title need to be 12 characters. Anything longer tends to spread out the report. When you print on it, it might print off a page. So keep the titles to 12. If you are working with an API that's bringing over titles that are longer than 12, just come in here and clean up your title. It's that simple. So it's not a refinance. If you have product templates, again, from the enterprise account, this is where you find them. If you're developing a report fresh, you could just find, if you're doing FHA or conventional, find your template and bring it down. If you're doing upfront premium, let's see what that, we are doing FHA, so I want to make sure that's marked. If you're doing single premium, which we'll do in our third product, this one will be marked. So let's go ahead and mark this as, no, it's monthly MI. Sorry about that, got confused me a little bit. With this, just to let you know, what this triggers is the upfront MIP field in our fee screen. Because it's not a single premium, I don't need the field, and with the lender paid, it's just an interest bump. So I don't need anything in this particular case. I'm also showing 10% down, 4.5% interest rate. Now let's bring that down to 4 right now. 4% interest rate in a term of 360. Advancing our screen, and this is great. If anyone has the report, if you clicked on it, that's in the chat box, you're now going to start seeing the modifications I'm doing. Your first product, the interest rate, just updated and be able to reflect 4% and not 4.25. So you're going to start seeing how that report changes. So with it, we have, I have my fees. And how did I put in my fees in this area? First off, my prepaid interest, you can default that with a product template. And if you have your mouse, it shows you that dollar amount. We also have a points area, so you can use this for your rebate as well. So say you have a 0.6745, I have a few numbers, rebate, you could place that number in there. Also, if you're on, again, an API, I know Optimal Blue will carry over that negative point for you. So now the additional fees, what do we need to do? So go into your closing cost detail, and Jackie, this is where those fee templates come into play. So you have a couple different items, and depending on how you built the fee templates or how your company built them, you would want to identify your state and then go to your drop-down and identify your fees. You'll notice that these were the fees that I did when I went into my settings. Those were my personal fees here. I identified the ones that I want to keep with a number 1 in front, because I'm in Prime Lending's enterprise account, and these are their fee templates. And I want mine above it. So I place a number 1 in that description, and because the alphanumerical order, my template will be up top. So I hope that made sense for you. If not, email us, or you can also contact us at support. But these are your fee templates you would access. both individual as well as corporate level. And then we'll go ahead and bring down your data here. You would then adjust any kind of numbers if you need to. If, as I said, the fee template might be slightly different for your branch than the corporate level, modify all your fees accordingly and then save a new template. And this will be your individual template based on the corporate process. So save as template. Like I mentioned before, I place a number 1 at the very top, so this way I know they're my fee templates. So I'm just going to mark it Lori's fee template. And then if I originate multiple states, I would be able to identify that and be able to have fee templates based by state. Once I press OK, it's saving that fee template, and now it's part of my drop-down. You'll notice it's at the very base, but when I go into the next product, it will reorder and it will be up at the top with the other number 1s. So I want to be able to show that, and we'll show you in our next product how that will display. We also want to point out this blue area, because when you're doing fees, this is a great area to look at. Borrow paid, it gives you your total amount of how much fees, and I'm also including my reserves here, and I'll show you on the next screen how to be able to do the reserves. You don't have to key them in. We have an auto process. Lender paid and seller paid. You'll see that I have my owner's title reflected to seller, and that total is now in the seller column. So you'd be able to identify if a lender was picking up any type of fees. Just want to be able to show you. You'll see the 6562 will be reduced by that amount of 425, and now lender paid has 425. So it's that simple to be able to identify who's paying the fee and be able to see the totals at the base. Once you're done modifying your fee template and saved it, you want to apply it to your loan. So if I press apply to loan, it will then total up your fees and lump them as total APR, non-APR, prepaid escrows, and contributions. Now if we move on to our next screen, our monthly cost screen, this is where our escrows, once we fill this out, it will go ahead and save the reserves and items like that in your fee screen. So you would just want to place in your hazard insurance factor as well as your property tax, and then your MI number. So I'm actually going to drop this down a little bit to 0.7 is what I've been seeing more recently. I want to make sure I keep the MI cutoff at 78%, so once the LTV reaches 78, it will be dropped from the loan. And then I'm collecting 2 months reserve, 4 months of taxes, and 12 months premium. By filling in these 3 fields, that's what triggers your fee template to be updated. So now if we go back a screen, let me just show you. If I click on closing cost details, you'll see the hazard insurance premium as well as the reserves, and then you'll also see tax reserves right here. And say I was in here and I didn't want to see the premium. I marked it and I don't want a premium. If I delete it through that trash can, apply it to the loan, you'll now know that when you go in the monthly cost, that box has been unmarked. So to show you how those 2 screens link together. So let's go ahead and put that back on. Now we're done with that report. If you're creating a report from scratch, you would see a green button right at the lower right saying add another product. That next product is my lender paid MI. Quick way of creating this report. You'll see it'll be the exact same report. All we're going to do is bump that interest rate. So the best way to do it is go to your copy from button, and you'll see that first product you created. Go ahead and select that product and press OK, and you'll see it copied all my information down for me, including that update of that interest rate. So now with this, I want to increase it from 4 to 5%, and I modify my lender paid MI. So you would want to put in whatever that rate you would receive if you had lender paid MI. If you want me to use a different rate, let me know. I can always modify this and use a different rate that's more something that you show. So don't mind if you do. Put it in the question area, and I'll use that rate. Now you'll see that all my fees carried over as well. Don't have to do anything in this screen because I use that copy screen, as well as my monthly costs. So you'll see that it's been updated to 0.7. Since this is lender paid MI, we don't want our monthly MI. So just open up that percentage, press delete, and now you've removed MI. So now this is strictly lender paid MI with no monthly mortgage insurance. Then for our third product, again, click on the green button, add another product. And then as you move to the next screen, we'll do that same process. So what we're going to do, you'll see I have 4.5% in there for my original products, and we want to update that. So let's use that copy from. I'll just copy from my monthly MI, and I'm pressing OK. And now what I want to do is keep that interest rate, but we're going to show single premium. So this is when you want to use the upfront premium drop-down and choose single. By doing this, when we advance our screen, you'll see we now have a single premium field. I'm just keeping that at 1%, and the system calculated that amount for me. If I wanted to add it to the loan amount, I could go ahead and do so here. This is also how your FHA upfront MI as well as VA funding fee and USD guarantee field would work. You just select the option in the drop-down, and you'll have that upfront MI appear. You can also save this as part of your product template if you're building out product templates too. Moving on, we have our monthly costs, which are all carried over, and because it's single premium, just like lender paid, let's remove that mortgage insurance. And we're done. So you can see how you develop one product. You could just use that copy feature and create your other options, especially with the MI. This is just the easiest. I just have so much fun with this report. So now we're done with our products. You could do an 80-10-10 if you wanted to show that type of a product in comparison, showing how having a second lien, 10% down on your first, you also don't have to pay mortgage insurance. So now let's move to our analysis page. We're going to come back to this one and really work that reinvestment strategy screen so you'll be able to see even payments. And this is something you can work with Edge Live and really be able to talk to the borrower about that type of conversation. So we'll come back to this. Property appreciation rate, we default as 3. You can overwrite it to 0 or put it whatever percentage it is in your area. Short-term, long-term, both of these are variables on the report. Again, when we work Edge Live, I'll show you how we can move those items as well. We're going to keep it on interest in MI, but you can also show total net worth, which is something we're going to do when we use that reinvestment strategy, as well as total principal paid. Contact information, this is just a marketing piece. I'm not putting any kind of property information, but you can also use these as labels. So if you wanted another comment under your title of MI comparison, you can place that information here. Now you have the different options here. If I only wanted to provide the borrower a monthly MI and lender paid MI, but not shown that single premium yet, you can remove it, and then when you use Edge Live, come back and add it when you're part of that conversation. So be able to show that. Oh, George, you want an 80-10-10? I knew that would happen. We'll do it with Edge Live. So, okay. So also add your payment note. Just something like estimated taxes and insurance are included in your payment. Compliance piece, always want that filled out. Next, I'm just jumping to my last screen. I'm hovering over presentation, and I'm clicking on preview, and now we're going to go in and talk about video, adding the video, and working Edge Live. So with this, you do have options for print and save PDF. You know, keep it as an email link. Don't get in the habit of using a print or a PDF, and the reason for it is you'll see it when you use Edge Live. When you send a borrower a link, you'll be able to update that link with any kind of options or changes when you're discussing with it. If you print it or save it as a PDF and send that, you're sort of bypassing that easy piece that is all part of Edge, be able to reach out and make those modifications in live time. So it will save you a lot of time to learn Edge Live and be able to use that email link. Notify me when report is viewed. That is your email alert. We'll be able to see that shortly when they start popping up for me. And then the enable call button, we'll talk about that. So let's go ahead and place on the quote date. I'm going to put today's date, the 23rd. And now let's just start looking at the report and working with Edge Live. So first off, you have a preview button, but that preview also is within Generate Link. So I'm just going to focus on the Generate Link button. You'll see the link to the report. Just want to confirm that is the link I put in the chat box. I just go ahead and copy and paste that link. And then you have an audio button. So before we work with Edge Live, let's go ahead and show you how to place a video. You'll notice when you click on it, you have the Edge report. And in the lower left-hand corner, you have the record message button. But before we go there, what I want to do is go to our event calendar, our knowledge base. I'm going to our home page, and I'm going to our coaching call archive. And the reason for that, we have a great coaching call by Josh Metal that was held last December. This one right here is how to create a perfect video that wows borrowers and realtors. So this was one of our coaching calls. And with that, if you show more, they have provided you some homework if you wanted to really dive into Edge some more. Sales training, advanced training, scripting from Todd Duncan, quick hits, and then also mortgage cut scripting. Scripting also is directly on our knowledge base, so if you do a search on script, you'll be able to bring up this page as well. So now with this, it's a PDF document that will provide you different type of scripting for the borrower, how to position yourself with the borrower, another email that you would just be able to copy this and be able to use that in your email, sending it to the borrower. So we provide a little bit, modify it. Partner section, you'd want to be able to script it for your partner. You have information here to do so. But where I'm getting at, besides all this additional scripting, which is what you really want to focus on since you're doing a video, is coming down, here's some questions to be able to ask your realtor partner, but it's these quick hits right here. How are you leveraging your video? Different items for you to question yourself on. And then we have a checklist for you. So as you're creating these videos for the first time, and additional times, these are items you'll be able to use. So you have your core questions. Did I mention the names of the borrowers? It's always nice when you're on a video to be able to hear your name. So if someone's reaching out to you, it does provide that, that connection to the borrower. If you had a referral, mention that because that makes the connection as well. Repeating the top goals, what kind of goals the borrower has. Did you challenge and educate them? Highlight benefits, emphasize the different short-term, long-term, which is we're going to talk about shortly. And then also you can analyze the video. How is your energy? Is it less than 2 minutes? You can record up to 5, but we suggest anywhere between 1 and 2 minutes because it's just an introduction, explain a little bit about Edge, but you want to keep it short and sweet. A lot of times when it goes on longer, you know, they might not listen to it all the way. So how simple, did you describe loan options? And again, you don't have to go in detail. That's what Edge Live is. And again, provide information about your background, introducing yourself. Whoops. So there's that checklist there. So now let's go to our video. Just one moment. So now let's click on that record message button in the lower left-hand corner. You'll see that the video comes up. Hi, everyone. And with that, you'll have the buttons at the base. You have your record message button, the playback, so you'll be able to watch it afterwards. You can pause it during your recording, so you have that option, stopping it. And if you want to remove a video, you can go ahead and erase it through that trash can. What I'm going to do is first, let's go through this. Okay, so you want to press record and record your message. So you would want to introduce yourself. Hello, everyone. My name is Lytle. When you're recording a video, make sure you have eye contact. Take a look at your items behind you. If you have a bright window, maybe you want to close the blinds, something like that, because the brightness will also use that HD, make it a smaller video. And but basically, introduce yourself, talk to the borrower, and explain a little bit about the report and have a call to action. So once you're done, you just go ahead and press the stop, and now the recording's been completed. You could go ahead and press play and watch that over again if you want to listen to it. So you have that. Also, I want to point out that you have settings. If you don't see the video and you don't see the audio, something's up. Just click on settings, and you'll see that the camera here, you could go ahead and identify where the camera as well as the mic. So if you're having, it's not recognizing it, just right-click anywhere on the report and go to settings. So now my report now has a video. So if you have it clicked on, you'll see if you refresh it, the video is now part of that report. So now let's take the share button, highlight the edge link, and paste it in a new tab. This is just as if a borrower clicked on the report and they have to press I understand. See, my video starts, so you have that. So let me place these side by side. And this way is the easiest way for you to understand how Edge Live works. And we're going to be doing quite a bit with this Edge Live, so you'll be able to see the different options you're really able to do with that borrower. So first off, let's explain the report. The one on the left-hand side is Clear All. That is your copy. That's how you know which is the difference. And if you look on the right-hand side, there's no Clear All button, because what the Clear All button does, when I highlight on my report, you can see it's highlighted on the right-hand side, your borrower side, and then the Clear All button will clear those highlights. You don't want the borrower to clear out anything on your report. So that's the quick difference between the two. I noticed someone else jumped on the report. Most likely it's my report on the right-hand side. But again, just highlighting, all you do is hover your mouse over the field. You'll see that the cell is surrounded, and you left-click, and it highlights. You'll also notice why I'm highlighting on the report, it's also highlighted on the borrower's report. And that's what Edge Live is, allowing you in real time to reach that client, especially if you're not face-to-face. But again, if you are face-to-face, having an iPad, this is a great way of them to feel in touch and be part of that conversation. So now you could discuss the loan amount. You'll see that they're all even loan amounts. And you could discuss the lender paid MI. It has a higher interest rate than your monthly MI and your single premium option. So you can see how you can really educate the client on their different loan options and really make this discussion. And not only educating and showing and reaching and touching, they're going to be comfortable in your knowledge, and the speeding of that commitment is probably going to be a lot quicker because you've answered all those questions right there with them in live time. So again, you could go in and click on the More Info buttons and drive this information to the borrower. You could discuss how closing the monthly insurance on the first product, but it's not on either of product 2 or product 3. You could then discuss closing costs and tell them about that single premium, and it's not showing up, so we have to go back and put in our single premium. And then also fee details. So you can see how everything I'm doing on the left-hand side is being mimicked on the right-hand side for Edge Live and be able to communicate to your borrower. So first off, great thing of being able to see where is my single premium. So let's go back to our Edge report. I'm hovering my mouse over the product and choosing single premium. And why isn't this? Let's see. Let's go to my report. Let's close out this. And let's see that if it's increased. Just one more, let's see. There it is. Okay, so there's my upfront MI, my single premium, And you'll see that also on the borrower's copy, it's also been updated. So now that we have everything apples to apples, we're going to work on a reinvestment strategy, talk about making these payments even. With that, you'll see that in this area, you'll have the monthly MI, how it's saving $3 over the lender paid MI, and a single premium. So with that, let's go ahead and go into Edge Live, and we'll make all these payments level, as well as reinvest your mortgage insurance. So let's go into Edge, and with that, let's go to the analysis screen. Now we're going to work on the reinvestment strategy. With the reinvestment strategy, you'll be able to reinvest that savings either toward principal or into a savings or investment account. For today, I'm just focusing on principal, so I'm going to save that $3.38 a month and put it toward principal to make it the same level payment as my lender paid MI. Now for my single premium, I want to put in the $187 that it's saving monthly over that lender paid MI. You'll also see that I have now my freedom points, especially with that single premium, and I have MI now that's cutting off in month 82. I want level payments for the life of the loan, so I want to show how I'd be able to reinvest my mortgage insurance. So if you double click on that field, you'll see another matrix up here. You'll look at the base, month 82, I no longer have mortgage insurance, and I want to reinvest that $183. So I'm going to add another line item, place in month 82, and then the dollar amount. And remember, if you want to keep it consistent, you want to add this dollar, the previous dollar amount to this. So I'm going to add, make this 187. I'm just going to make it even, and then press OK. By doing that and reinvesting that mortgage insurance, now you have a freedom point of 26.08 years. So you can see at this point in time, through the life of the loan, you have that borrower making the exact same payments. So now let's take a look at the report, how that's going to reflect on the report. So with the report, anytime I make a change and I advance my screen, so as soon as I advance the screen, you'll start seeing those updates. But you can already see the reduction of payments already modified on my report. Now let's dive into the report and be able to talk about that a little bit more and to show those level payments. So if I click on the More Info button, you can see now that my information has been filled out. And if I click on the Custom button, you can see how I'm reinvesting the monthly savings, as well as having reinvesting the MI, as well as that monthly savings again. So you'll really be able to drive and pull out that information for the borrower and just see level payments. If you can afford this payment here, you can afford it on each other loan option. So that's how you'll be able to show that. Then say they want to compare not against the lender paid MI, because that's the highest cost loan, because you can see that in the monthly payments, as well as the short-term savings. So to do that, I'm going back to Edge, and I'm hovering my mouse over Presentation and then choosing Select Report. This is how I can remove a product from my report by just unchecking that box. And then when I advance my screen, that's when the save occurs and my product or report will be updated. So you'll see shortly the product has been removed, and now I'm just comparing against monthly MI and single premium. So that's how you'd be able to provide information and loan options, either adding an option that they might not have thought of after you hold that conversation with them, or removing an option once they realize, you've decided, okay, this is an option we want, let's remove it. Again, with Edge Live, you could do that if you tried to do that with an email or a PDF or Excel file. Again, you're having to resubmit all that information to the borrower. So now let's talk about the short-term and the long-term savings, the 60 months and the 15 years. These are variables, and this is what you can use with your conversation with the borrower. So as you're talking with them, you're getting more comfortable with them and understanding their lifestyles. How long do they want to be in that home? So if we go to Edge, and we want to go to the analysis screen, after talking with them, they plan to stay in their house for 7 years at least. That's before they want to talk about moving. They want to stay there 7 years. So you can place that in the short-term area, and when you advance the screen, your report's going to be updated. And it will show the short-term from 60 to 84 months, so you can see it right there. So you really be able to start honing in on the conversation you're having with the borrower, how long they plan to be in the home, what they want to be able to see. The other option is, because we did that reinvestment, let's change this to net worth, the long-term area. It's quite simple. You go back to Edge, into the analysis screen, and change it from total interest to total net worth, and then your report's going to update. Always remember to advance the screen because that triggers the change. And let's go back to my report, and you'll see how it's been updated to net worth. So you can see how the single premium will provide them slightly more net worth than the monthly more MI. And if you click on the more info, you have that home value area. That's that 3% appreciation. What is that loan balance at the end of the term? Total reduction and all the other information you have in here. So total principal reduction and the loan balance at the end of that term. Okay, so with that, let me show you real quick on how to do an 80-10-10. I know we don't have a lot of time, but we'll show you how to put that product on here, George. I'm going to Edge. Actually, I'm going to cheat. I'm going to the analysis. I'm back in a page. And you'll see the green button, add another product. So let's just label this 80-10-10. And I'm going to copy from my first product here. It's going to be 4% unless you have a different rate for your 80-10-10. You want to go ahead and modify that. But for me, let me write down a couple of numbers so I could develop my second lien. You can see right here, 10%, which is going to be my second lien, is $35,000. Now I want to bump this to $20,000 so I no longer have mortgage insurance. If you modify the rate, go ahead and do so then. I'm just keeping it the same amount. My fees didn't change. My monthly cost didn't change. But now I have to add that second lien. And the very last field is, does this product include a second lien? And you want to answer yes. Advance the screen, and now you're going to get data input for your second lien. So at that point, let's put in $35,000. The rate is 5 1/4. Term 360. So yeah, it depends. If you're doing an IO, you might want to do, maybe they have 10 years of interest only. You could place that in here. Always put the full term. Don't reduce that by 120. This is 360. IO is 120. We do have information on equity lines. If that's the second lien type you have, we're not going to cover that right now because it's a little more detailed developing that, but we do have a video tutorial on it. So once you fill out this information, as well as if there's any fees associated with the second lien, you're done. So let's take a look at our presentation now. Oops, let's go back to it. Oops, it's already popped out. There's your 80-10-10. So with that, what's slightly different with the 80-10-10 is now you have a blended rate and a blended APR for that product. But when you click the More Info button for your monthly payments, you'll see how we break down the first lien as well as the second lien. So you have your information here, as well as the More Info button in the summary area. You have your P&I payments as well for your first and second lien, so they can see how that's comprised, as well as all those monthly costs. So that's how easy it is to put in that second 80-10-10 product, and let's say I want to put in my single premium back on, so I have a complete report with all products. I just add it, and then now my report's going to be updated. There we go. So with that, everyone, this is how you work Edge Live, reinvestment, showing different MI options, and be able to provide that to your clients. So you can really see over a 7-year period, that single premium is the way to go. So with that, everyone, I am going to be sticking around. If you have any questions you want to ask, go ahead and place it in the chat box. This report training will be recorded, and it will be posted on our coaching call archive. It will just be added to our month of April calls here. Last week, we did dive into the mobile app. I did mention I was going to cover that. But the short-term and long-term savings. So if you're struggling understanding that, this is a good training to be able to watch, to be able to understand that and dive into it further. So with that, everyone, thank you very much for attending today's training. Let us know different loan options or what you want to see on this training call, and we will go ahead and incorporate it into our next week's call. So with that, thank you, everyone, and enjoy your day. Okay, I don't have any questions coming in. And again, if you have a report you want reviewed, email us at support@mortgagecoach.com, and we'll be able to assist you. Thank you. Enjoy your day.